I spotted her across the room, sitting at a corner table. For a moment, my heart lifted, until I realized she wasn't alone. A man sat beside her. Young. Far too young. He couldn't have been more than half her age. I froze. My breath caught in my throat like a punch I hadn't braced for. The scene unfolded in front of me like a cruel joke. They were laughing, leaning in close, their faces inches apart. I couldn't hear what they were saying, the sound around me faded into a dull hum, but their body language screamed familiarity, intimacy, comfort. I stood there, heart pounding, blood roaring in my ears. My brain scrambled to make sense of it all. Who was he? Why was she with him? And why did it feel like my entire world was crumbling right there in that dimly lit restaurant? Summoning what little strength I had left, I walked toward them. My legs felt like they didn't belong to me. My voice came out broken, barely a whisper, but loud enough to cut through their laughter. Is this the work you were talking about? She turned, her eyes locking onto mine. What? Panicked? Silent? The color drained from her face. The man stood abruptly, shifting uncomfortably, glancing back and forth between us. He didn't say a word, he didn't have to. She opened her mouth, maybe to explain, maybe to lie, but I didn't give her the chance. Because in that single look, in the flicker of something across her face, maybe guilt, maybe fear, I saw all I needed to see. I turned around and walked away. Each step felt like dragging a boulder behind me. My feet were lead, my heart heavier. I could feel her watching me go, could feel the weight of all the unspoken words choking the air between us. But I didn't turn back. I couldn't. The silence of the restaurant pressed down on me as I left, echoing my footsteps like the sound of something breaking. Back home, the pain hit in waves. I stared at the ceiling, still seeing their faces, still feeling the sting of betrayal burrowed deep in my chest. She called. I let it ring. She texted. Long messages filled with panic and explanations. She said it was a mistake. She said it wasn't what it looked like. She said she never meant for me to find out. But none of it mattered. Because in that one moment, everything cracked. The trust, the laughter, the nights we spent dreaming of a future. Every single piece of what we had shattered. And no matter how much she tried to explain, I knew one thing for certain. I could never look at her the same way again. Not after what I saw. Not after how it felt. And not after knowing she'd chosen silence, secrets, and someone else over everything we'd built together. I didn't need her words. The truth had already screamed loud enough. I needed space. Space to breathe, to think, to feel the weight of what had just happened without her voice clouding my judgment. The days that followed were a blur, but her image with him remained vivid, etched behind my eyelids like a haunting memory I couldn't escape. Every time I closed my eyes, there they were, her smile, his youth, the way they leaned into each other as if the world around them had vanished. And I was nowhere in that picture. I tried to tell myself I was just angry that this pain would pass, that maybe I was overreacting. But the truth was quieter and deeper than rage. It was sorrow. A slow, bitter ache that told me something inside me had broken. Not cracked. Not bent. Broken. She kept calling, her number lighting up my screen like a pulse I didn't want to feel. She left voicemails, her voice trembling, pleading for just a moment, just a chance to explain. But I wasn't ready to hear her voice. I wasn't even sure I'd ever be ready. Because what I'd seen that night wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't just a moment of weakness. It was a betrayal so complete, so sharp, it cut through everything we'd built together. The laughter, the promises, the long talks about growing old side by side, gone. All of it undone in a matter of seconds. And slowly, quietly, the idea I had been trying to avoid began to take root. Divorce. It crept in during silent nights and early mornings, whispering to me when I was too tired to resist it. I didn't want to believe we were finished. I wanted to believe that love could conquer this too. But no matter how hard I tried to deny it, a part of me had already let go. I realized that apologies couldn't fix what had been shattered. Excuses wouldn't rebuild the trust that had crumbled into dust. Her betrayal wasn't just in the act. It was in the secrecy, in the lies she told with a straight face, in the way she looked me in the eyes and pretended we were still whole. And the cruelest part? It had happened on our anniversary. A day meant to celebrate everything we had overcome, everything we had promised each other. Instead, it became the moment that ripped the blindfold from my eyes. I saw the truth then, not just about her but about us. About how far we had drifted. About how deeply I had wanted to believe in something that was already falling apart. There was no going back. I couldn't forget what I saw. I couldn't forgive what she did. And I couldn't keep pretending that love was enough to fix what had been destroyed. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I chose to let go. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I finally started loving myself more. I still don't know how things unraveled so fast, how what should have been a night of celebration became the funeral of our marriage. But in that loss I found something I didn't know I'd been missing: clarity. And for the first time in a long time I felt ready. Ready to move forward. Ready to stop bleeding for someone who couldn't hold my heart with care. Ready to heal without her.